Welcome to 7.5 Parts of Similar Triangles. All right, so there are special segments of similar triangles. When two triangles are similar, corresponding altitudes, angle bisectors, and medians are proportional to the corresponding sides. So here's an example in this figure, and look, they gave us a similarity statement. Triangle ABC is similar to triangle XYZ with angle bisectors as shown. Find X. So we're comparing this triangle here to this triangle here and their angle bisectors as well. So we're going to be setting up a proportion. And we know that this part of this triangle is corresponding to this part of this triangle, and therefore the angle bisectors also correspond. So I'm going to set up a proportion to where 10 over 8, so these two parts here, ABC compared to XYZ, is equal to 24 over X. Now to solve this, we just cross multiply, and I get 10X equals 192. Now to get X alone, we're just going to divide by 10 on both sides, and X equals 19.2. Easy as that, right? Let's try the same thing, but with medians. So here you have the two medians, and you know they're medians because they start at a vertex and they end at a midpoint. So my two medians are 20 and X, and then the sides of the triangle that correspond are going to be 36 and 18. So when I set up my proportion, look, I've got this set up already, right? When I set up my proportion, it is going to be 20 over X is equal to 36 over 18. And then of course to solve, we have got to cross multiply. So 36x is equal to 18 times 20 is 360. And then of course to get x alone, we want to divide by 36. And we get that x is equal to 10. All right, one more time, but this time with altitudes. So I've got these two altitudes. They go from a vertex to a right angle on the opposite side of the triangle. I've got this altitude is 3, this altitude is x, and these corresponding sides are 4 and 3. So I'm going to set up the proportion. 3 over x is equal to 4 over 3. And now we're going to cross multiply. So 4x is equal to 9. And then to get x alone, we just divide by 4 on both sides. Now I'm okay if you leave that as a fraction, if you say that x is equal to 9 over 4, or you are more than welcome to say x is equal to 2.25. It's up to you. All right, now the other part of the notes today are specific to the triangle bisector theorem. Triangle bisector theorem. And what it says is that an angle bisector in a triangle separates the opposite side into two segments that are proportional to the lengths of the other two sides. Okay, so they sort of gave us an example here. So this is an angle bisector, and I know because I've got two congruent angles. And what it says is that since SU is an angle bisector, then RU, that's this part, over TU, that's this part over here, is equal to or proportionate to RS over ST. Okay, so the part over part is equal to the full side over the full side. All right, let's go ahead and set that up as a proportion. Isn't this exciting? All right, so I've got X is RU over TU, that's 20, and RS is 15 over TS, which is 30. Oh, well, once I have my proportion, all I have to do is cross multiply. So I've got 30x is equal to 300 divided by 30 on both sides to get x alone, and x equals 10. That was pretty simple. Let's try this again. Now this time they didn't tell us all of this part here, but we need to remember part over part is equal to the side over the side. So I'm going to set up the proportion first, just like this. And I've got one part that's 10. Oh, but the whole thing is 15. So this other part here has to be 5. Oh, that's segment addition postulate. All right, so 10 over 5 is equal to x over 13. Ah, this is awesome. Then we just cross multiply. So 5x is equal to 130. Divide both sides by 5, and x equals 26. All right, one more, last one, you guys. This is another angle bisector. So I've got part over part is equal to full side over full side. Now wait, this part I know is x, and the total is 28. So for this part over here, I'm actually going to use 28 minus x, right? Because if the whole thing is 28 and that part's x, then this part is whatever's left over after you take x away. All right, so let's set up a proportion. Part over part. So I'm going to start out with 28 minus x over x, and that's going to be equal to 20 over 30. Part over full side over full side is equal to full side over full side. Now, because this is an expression here, I'm going to make sure to put it in parentheses, because when I cross multiply, it's going to get kind of complicated. I want to make sure I multiply times the whole thing. So 30 times 28 minus x is, you want to be careful when you cross multiply here. You've got an expression, so it's always a good idea to put it in parentheses. And so when I cross multiplied, I ended up with 30 times 28 minus x equals 20x. Now you want to make sure you distribute at this point, right? So I have 840 minus 30x equals 20x. And then I'm going to go ahead and add 30x to both sides just to get the x's together. And I have 840 is equal to 50x, and I want to divide both sides by 50 in order to get x alone. So that cancels, and I have x equals 16.8. All right, have a good time on those practice problems, y'all. Make sure that you keep organized.